Hello guys, me Elf with ElfNet Gaming, and today I have a TYT handheld radio. This is a DMR, digital two-way radio. This is it right here. This is the MD-380 by TYT. I have the long antenna on it. I already have the battery, the belt clip on it because I had it charging, and here's the charger. So drop in deal, plugs into the wall socket, and you drop it in. Light turns red, it's charging. Green, it's out of charge or already charged. Alright, I can turn it on for you. First, and what you get with this, what I got with this one, I bought it off eBay. They're going for about $100. This is the UHF 400 megahertz version. They do have the VHF high band version, the 150 megahertz. I think it's a 140 to 174. I guess what's 400 to 480. This particular model I have here. What I got is this box. This is a relatively nice box. I was expecting something a little more Chinese in my chair, you know, and this thing feels like it's built fairly well compared to these Bofeng frequency counter, compared to the Bofeng B5, which is a better built version of that. This one feels like it's built a lot better. Like, so we'll set you over here. We're going to go through the accessories that I received. They do have different deals of this where you could get a speaker mic or a head earpiece deal, or in my case I opted for the programming cable because with every radio I buy I always get the programming cable and the official software. I know there's third-party software for these little radios like this or Chirp, and that's fine. In the beginning I gave it a hard time because it would wreck radios, but now they seem to have fixed those problems and it's not a bad piece of software now. I don't use that by default. I try to always stay with the official manufacturer stuff if I can. But we open the box. It's got all it's textured on the top. Opening the box. Now the other half of this plastic is around here. It's over there. It holds the radio. In fact, it's right here. When you first get it, you see this, and you got the radio with no battery on it, of course, and it's sitting in there. The antenna and battery are all under it in their own little bags. This is a SMA. This is very similar to the Vertex standard type plug. This is not your standard SMA like on the like on this thing here. This one. In fact, these two will actually go together. Like that. So it's the reverse. I call this the Mototrbo Kenwood SMA, and this the Vertex standard SMA. It's a reversed polarity SMA deal, more or less. Kind of like Wi-Fi routers, or not rather. It's a whole different deal. So your standard amateur antennas with SMA made for the Wouxun and Bofeng radios will not work on this radio. You have to get one for this type of radio or that type of antenna connector. It would be important to note if you want to go that route. I'm not sure how many hams are using DMR. I know commercial is real popular. This particular radio is compatible with Mototrbo. I've already tested it on a system. So on the box, they also send you a miniature, a little stubby antenna if you so feel inclined to use. I don't use the stubbies all that much. In fact, I might put this on a Vertex radio that I have that needs an antenna. Of course, I have the programming disc. It's a little mini CD, a couple hundred megabytes, 225 megabyte disc. This has the drivers for the cable and programming software, along with a whole galaxy of other types of software for other radios that are unrelated to this particular package. This thing here is not what it seems to be. Okay, what I found out about this whole radio programming setup for this TYT radio is, excuse me, when you plug this in your computer, it doesn't recognize anything. It doesn't say, hey, I found a USB device on your USB port and we're trying to find drivers and put in a disk and do all that. It does not do that. It only does that when you plug this into the radio and turn the radio on. And then it will say, device found on USB port, yada, 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 searching for drivers. So that leads me to believe that the actual cable is just that. It's a cable, straight USB cable to the pins from the hard USB from the computer. Those 4 in there, or 5 if they use the shield in this cable, straight through to the pins here. So this will not work on a Kenwood or anything like that. So you probably don't want to be using the TYT cable with another radio such as this. You could mess up something. Just saying. So make sure. What I did is I made bags. I put these in Ziploc bags and put them in my big bag of programming cables, and I put notes on the bag: do not use with anything but this model radio right here. This one. Okay. It leads me to believe that all the programming stuff is actually built into the radio. Now, that to me is a big plus. They should have done that way back when they first started in with programming with USB cables and things like that. With all of these radios, should have built it in instead of building the FTDI chips into the cables. Build them into the radios. That way, yeah. Always something, right? So yeah, be sure you, if you get this cable, make sure you don't get it mixed up and try to use it with something else, just to be on the safe side. I don't know what will happen if I plug it into this radio, this Bofeng or Kenwood, and plug it in the computer, and I'm not going to do it because I don't want to know. Of course, the next thing you get is the instruction manual of how to use this radio, all of the feature, shows you everything that comes in the package. You got your stubby antenna. Of course, they give us 2. Got a lithium-ion battery, belt clip with screws, charger, user's manual, and verification. Verification. Yeah. It tells you how to put on the battery, put on the antenna, plug in a headset, all the little features, how to send calls. In this, here's the verification tag, a little tag, TYT Science Technology Electronics Company of China, verification that this is a genuine radio. I guess that's what that means. Well, I'll put you in there. It's got all the instructions that you need to use the radio. Now, of course, radio is completely useless when you get it. It has test frequencies and test systems and all that in it. If you do not program this radio and use it straight out of the box, there is probably 50-50 chance that 2 radios you buy will not talk to each other because test frequencies may vary. It's always a good idea to reprogram these radios to channels that you are authorized on now. We'll go over what you can use this radio for. Back of the box, it says all about it, FCC approved, all that mumbo jumbo. It's got the address of the company, made in China. Again, really nice box. Here is the information of radio, TYT digital transceiver, the website, phone number, it's got functions, specific analog digital mode combined. It will do the standard analog and digital, of course. Complying with Mototrbo Tier 1 and 2, it is compatible with turbo radios, and that's why I got this. Complying with digital protocol, ETS, ITS, blah, 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 update software, available features, private call, group call, and call digital mode. Remote kill, stun, activate. You can, if radio goes missing or stolen on a system, digital, you can send a kill signal or, you know, or lock it or shut it off, or, you know, reactivate it, or you can even listen in on it, from what I understand. Color LCD display will show that minute text digital mode. Enhanced encryption, yes, it has a vocoder in it apparently, up to 1,000 channels, and an emergency alarm. It's a pretty heavy duty thing here. And then we go over here to our transmitter. Power output, high 5 watts, low 5 watts. I don't have a deal to hook this to a watt meter, the right adapter with me right now. It's elsewhere in another bag. I've been packing up now to get ready for DEF CON 24 in Vegas, and I'll leave tomorrow for that. That's why I got this radio, and this radio is going with me. So I'll be out there. Probably when this gets uploaded, it'll be in the middle of the convention, yada, yada, yada. So UHF generally is 4 watts, not 5. What, you know, the Chinese, it could be wrong. It could be 5 watts, low power, 1 watt, whatever. 4 FSK digital mode, 12.5 kilohertz data, voice, digital protocol, vocoder type. There's the vocoder tag, AMBE plus 2TM. And then the receiver analog sensitivity. Like 3/10 of a microvolt, 2/10. It's so we got about 2/10 of a microvolt or so. Audio power output 1 watt. General frequency range 400 to 480, 1,000 channels. Audio power output 1 watt. Battery type lithium ion. So, latest and greatest technologies in a very, very nice box. I like this box. But anyway, you didn't come here to see me rant on about a box. So let's crack on with the radio. Box over there. So there's radio. There's a charger. Take it out of the charger. A little stubby end. And I put it there. So this is the radio. This is the what we've come to what we want to look at. I spent 10 minutes talking about features and crap. Now we get to see it be turned on. Welcome. And I have it on channel. I am bringing my portable GMRS repeater with me. Out there, it's that PM 400 thing, but I have it hooked up now. Can't see any. You can probably hear it clicking over here. The relay clicking. I'm not going to be bringing the controller. I'm going to be putting a suicide cable on it, 2 mobiles, and a power supply, a duplexer. And I'm going to set it up in the hotel room with magnetic antenna. That way I can use the radio there. I have my own communications. I could use a system that I have access to that is a DMR system there, but that would be if I wanted to go all over town. I'm just going to be right there at Paris and Bali's and Vegas, so, and I made sure I got a room high enough and a floor to cover getting pretty good. So, yeah, that's that. Anyway, volume. When we do the volume, you can see the. I'm going to turn the volume up, down. Okay, now I can hit. 1 2 1 2 1 2. Okay. Menu. Zones. We can change the zones. Louisiana. There we go. There we go. Right there. Now I put this in here, and I don't suspect this radio is exactly Part 95 approved, but you know what? Who really cares? If you want to be Mr. Legality here, then no, don't put FRS, GMRS, all that bullshit in there. Okay. In all reality, this radio probably only has acceptance grants for Part 90 and Part 74, and Part 22, maybe. You know, I was looking at grants for a lot of radios that are used, that ham operators use, that are commercial radios that do not have authorization grants for Part 97, which is ham radio, which means they're using them illegally. According to the grant paper. Now, whatever, I personally don't care. Okay, I'm not Mr. Legal FCC field agent, I don't care. What I always taught and told by FCC people, as long as you're not interfering with anybody like public safety systems, they don't have the time or manpower to stick around. So anyway, unprogrammed when you get there. Alright. So we have utilities, have radio settings, radio info, and I turned on the program radio. Now this requires me to put in a password to unlock to actually program the radio. So we'll start at the top, radio settings, talk around, tones, alerts, power, backlight, squelch, intro screen, keypad lock, language, LED indicator, password lock, clock, and mode. So talk around, we know what that does. Alert tones turns that on and off. Power is like your, I guess your high-low power, okay. Backlight, 5 seconds, 10 seconds, always on. Yada yada, the usual. Squelch, tight, normal, normal. Intro screen, do a picture or character string. Sorry, you can't see it. Shit. Picture or character string. I would like to change a picture on that. Maybe one day we'll figure it out. Keypad lock. Whoops. What did I do? Keypad lock. That's when it locks the seconds. Language. The best Chinese, English. Yes, Chinese and English. LED indicator on and off. That's the little top. That there. Password lock. We're not going in that. You put it in. Time and date. Tells you. Mode, channel mode, memory, recall mode. Okay. Radio info. My number and versions. This gives radio number that I assign this radio for digital and the version of firmware, which is right there. And it probably could use an update. I'll have to look that up later. Let's go back. Programming the radio. Enter our password to go into programming mode. I don't use the field programmer very often, so, and we can scan, turn on, and view list. Yeah, it scans all per zone. This is a zone radio. You can put things in zones, which is really nice. Side buttons. That's monitor, silent monitor. It turns the PL tone off. Of course, push to talk is this one, and this one turns on scan. I assign this one for scan. That should be monitor. I might go back and change that to monitor and that one to scan. I got it a little backwards there. Of course, you got your channel changer at the top and your volume controller. There we got to mash the button, battery comes off, and there's the sticker. There is the FCC ID, so it is legal to use in USA. And it's also got an IC ID, all the glories of the back panel. It's got your seal with the MI-on battery, with the battery belt clip. I'm not too keen on this belt clip. Of course, this is a stock one. Well, we'll see. And it does feel good in the hand. It, I was expecting something a little more Chinesey. Well, let me see. This didn't shut down good. Welcome. There we go. That's back up now. Now on the screen, I don't know if you can see it without a... We're going to change the backlight to stay on always. Okay. We're diminishing. It should stay on all the time. And on the screen you got a little meter that shows signal strength, like when I transmit, I'm not on the repeater, but you should see it. There's just other signal around. It'd be ambient. H, I think, I'm not sure what H is, may hold. And then you got your battery indicator, and this is direct non-repeater arrow deal. And radio's going off for menu. I'm gonna say channel 1 group is GMRS. Radio channel on the zone is 1. This is alpha tag, of course. It's got a whole bunch of bells and whistles, and well, let's see. Do I have? I tested it with a digital system here, but I don't think I left it in here. Oh, there it is. System 1. Here's a DMR system here, and it's showing I've got a message, security, and all that. What do I have in my messages? This is where I was playing with it. Inbox, 1, 2, 3, 4. Hello. Okay, that's the default. I added the message I sent from Turbo. I sent it to the default radio number when I first got it and playing with it. It's not in a repeater mode. It's in simplex digital. No. Yeah. So yeah, you can send text messages with this stuff. It's really neat. It's just like an email box. So it's got its own little email server built into it, if you could say that. If you're on a repeater system, then that would be built into the repeater, I assume. But simplex mode like this, I created a test system on one of my commercial frequencies to test DMR here locally. Yeah. So what do I think about this radio? Well, what is there to think about it? It is a digital solution for those on a budget. If you can't afford $400 plus Motorola radio, this might be an option for you. So far, I can hit all of my commercial repeaters, the other GMRS repeaters around town. It's you know, to me, it seems to have pretty good audio. Got good mic audio. It's got good reception. That's just me. That's me. Your mileage may vary. 1,000 channels is an awfully lot of channels. I will never in my life use all of those channels. And the fact that this is a zone mode radio is just absolutely really cool. So I'll put this back on my channel. I have all these other groups in there around this area and areas that I travel, like Louisiana Fairgrounds. I travel there and I've done radio work for them, other computer stuff. Different agencies, different things I just put in off the top of my head. I am taking the programming cable and my computer with this software with me to Vegas, and I'll probably be adding some more things in when I get there, and playing with it there. But yeah, it's the TYT MD-380 UHF band DMR digital handheld radio. And there's my thoughts and review of this radio. And if you like it, be sure to leave a thumbs up. If you don't like it, then Well, you know how YouTube works. I shouldn't have to explain it. You know how this works. So, I am Elf with ElfNet Gaming, and I will see you guys in the next video.